Welcome to C News, your go-to channel for bold, unfiltered takes on the stories that matter most. Here, we dive deep into the headlines, unpacking the truth behind the noise and shining a light on the narratives that others overlook. From breaking news to the latest royal drama, we've got you covered with sharp analysis and a fresh perspective. If you're tired of the same recycled stories and want a channel that delivers news with a punch, hit that subscribe button and join our growing community. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update. This is C News, where the story starts with you. The UK media's obsession with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle has reached absurd levels, making it increasingly clear they'll stop at nothing to generate headlines, even if it means embarrassing themselves. From fake scandals to overanalyzing the most trivial details, the desperation to stay relevant in royal gossip is as glaring as ever. Let's start with the endless cycle of fabricated stories. Every few months, tabloids churn out rumors of a looming divorce between Harry and Meghan. One day, they're claiming Meghan has stormed out of their home in Montecito. The next, they're reporting that Harry is homesick and ready to ditch California for life back in the UK. Of course, these stories almost always fall apart under scrutiny. Harry and Meghan have continued the public appearances together, looking as solid as ever. But that doesn't stop the media from recycling the same tired narrative. Then there's the ridiculous fixation on Meghan's every move. Whether it's her fashion choices, her facial expressions, or even how she holds her child, no detail is too small for the tabloids to dissect. Take, for instance, the infamous Montecito Burger Run story. Photos of Meghan grabbing takeout somehow became front-page news, with absurd headlines speculating on everything from the state of their finances to her supposed Americanization of Harry. All she did was pick up some burgers, but in the tabloids' world, it became a symbol of their supposed downfall. And let's not forget the paparazzi's relentless antics. Just last year, an alleged, near-catastrophic car chase, involving Harry, Meghan, and photographers made headlines worldwide. While the couple's team released a statement condemning the dangerous behavior, the UK media wasted no time spinning it into a circus. They downplayed the seriousness of the incident, mocked Harry and Meghan's concerns, and shifted the blame entirely onto them for even existing in the public eye. But perhaps the most embarrassing moments come when these tactics backfire spectacularly. One particularly cringeworthy example was the uproar over Harry's memoir, Spare. Long before the book was released, the tabloids were already condemning it as an attack on the royal family. But when the book hit the shelves, it became clear the real damage was to the media's credibility. Instead of the bombshell expose they predicted, readers found a deeply personal story about Harry's life, including his struggles with mental health and the relentless tabloid intrusion that shaped his decisions. Ironically, Spare only highlighted how complicit the media has been in creating the very dysfunction they profit from. The public is increasingly calling out this obsessive behavior. Social media platforms are flooded with posts ridiculing sensational headlines and pointing out the obvious bias. Even some journalists and public figures have started criticizing the tabloids for their relentless focus on Harry and Meghan while ignoring more pressing issues. It's a sign that the tide might be turning, though the tabloids themselves seem too entrenched in their ways to notice. In the end, the UK media's desperation to drag Harry and Meghan down speaks volumes, not about the couple, but about the tabloids' own struggles to stay relevant. The obsession has gone beyond entertainment. It's become a case study in how far outlets will go to manufacture drama and cling to a dying narrative. So, the question remains, is it time for the media to let go of their fixation on Harry and Meghan? Or will they continue this spiral of self-inflicted embarrassment? One thing's for sure, the Sussexes seem to be moving on with their lives, and maybe it's time the tabloids did too. The UK media's relentless obsession with Harry and Meghan often backfires spectacularly, leading to public backlash that exposes their tactics for what they're: manipulative, exaggerated, and sometimes downright fabricated. While tabloids aim to stir controversy and attract clicks, they often underestimate the public's growing skepticism and fatigue with their antics. Take, for instance, the reaction to Meghan's Oprah interview in 2021. The media immediately launched a smear campaign, questioning Meghan's credibility and even mocking her for admitting she struggled with suicidal thoughts during her time as a senior royal. Tabloids ran inflammatory pieces accusing her of lying and playing the victim, but instead of turning the public against Meghan, these efforts sparked widespread outrage. Mental health advocates, public figures, and everyday readers called out the press for their insensitivity and lack of accountability, with many pointing out how this behavior directly mirrored the kind of toxic scrutiny Meghan had been describing. Then there's the constant effort to paint Meghan as a gold digger or fame-hungry manipulator pulling Harry's strings. One infamous example came after Harry's attendance at the King's coronation in 2023. Tabloids jumped on Meghan's absence, spinning it as proof of a rift in their marriage or her supposed disdain for the royal family. However, the narrative quickly fell apart when it was revealed she stayed in California to celebrate their son Archie's birthday, a decision most reasonable people could sympathize with. Social media users wasted no time ridiculing the tabloids, with memes and posts calling out their obsession with demonizing Meghan even when her actions were perfectly understandable. another instance of backlash came after Harry and Meghan's Netflix documentary aired. The media went into overdrive, dismissing the series as self-indulgent, and accusing the couple of hypocrisy for sharing their story while supposedly wanting privacy. But instead of generating widespread support for the tabloids, their criticism revealed a double standard. Viewers pointed out that the documentary was a controlled platform for Harry and Meghan to tell their side of the story, something they'd been denied in the past due to the media's selective reporting. The backlash against the tabloids was so intense that some outlets found themselves facing boycotts, with readers unsubscribing or refusing to engage with their content. Even seemingly trivial stories have backfired. When Meghan's children's book The Bench was released, the tabloids wasted no time trashing it as narcissistic and a flop. Yet the book became a bestseller, and the public mocked the media for their pettiness. This pattern repeats itself time and again, whether it's Meghan's fashion choices, their charity initiatives, or even their family holidays. The tabloids' attempts to generate outrage often lead to widespread ridicule of the desperation. The irony is that these tactics not only harm the tabloids' reputation but also strengthen public sympathy for Harry and Meghan. By exposing their bias and eagerness to distort the truth, the media unwittingly validate the couple's claims about the toxic environment they've faced. It's become increasingly clear that the tabloids are stuck in a feedback loop of their own making, desperately trying to maintain relevance through manufactured drama, only to alienate more readers in the process. As the public grows more vocal in rejecting these tactics, it's evident that the UK media's obsession with Harry and Meghan is not just unethical but unsustainable. The desperate attempts to control the narrative are crumbling under the weight of public scrutiny, leaving the tabloids looking increasingly out of touch and irrelevant in a world that's no longer buying what they're selling. The UK media's obsession with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle has become the gift that keeps on giving, if, of course, you enjoy watching tabloids embarrass themselves. Time and again, the desperate attempts to control the narrative only highlight how out of touch they've become. Instead of exposing any real flaws in Harry and Meghan, they end up exposing their own, flimsy reporting, baseless speculation, and a lack of respect for the intelligence of their readers. At this point, it's not just the Sussexes moving on with their lives, it's the public, too. People are seeing through the charade, and the tabloids are left shouting into an echo chamber, desperate for an audience that's no longer listening. What's truly fascinating is how the media has inadvertently turned Harry and Meghan into symbols of resilience. Every hit piece, every fabricated scandal, and every ridiculous headline only reinforces the idea that the couple is weathering a storm of hostility with remarkable grace. Instead of tearing them down, these tactics have made Harry and Meghan more relatable to a global audience who can't help but root for the underdog. The irony, of course, is that the tabloids could have saved themselves this humiliation by simply letting the couple live their lives. But where's the profit in that? Better to chase clicks with wild speculation, even if it means looking foolish in the process. In the end, the UK media's obsession with Harry and Meghan says far more about the media than it does about the Sussexes. It's a glaring reflection of a dying industry clutching at straws, using two people as scapegoats for their own irrelevance. As Harry and Meghan focus on their family, their philanthropic work, and living life on their terms, the tabloids are left spinning their wheels, hoping to revive a narrative no one cares about anymore. Maybe one day, the media will realize that the constant smears do nothing but tarnish their own reputation. Until then, we'll be here, watching from the sidelines, popcorn in hand, as the tabloids continue their spectacular self-destruction.